Legacy, and kind of talked about that, but they're already getting into the ban, so let's get started here. BMG is going to take out Wild Soul and Riptide. Zlapped's going to ban Tremble and Warbeast. No surprises there, right?
Well, when it comes to Wild Soul and the Riptide, yeah, there is no surprise. This is just a standard, but there is just a strategy over there for BMG. When they are banning Wild Soul and the Riptide, they just want to make sure that this game is not going to be such a late game carries. So for Sync Esport, they made sure that Trumbo and the War Beast are getting banned, so both teams are going to secure the team fighting heroes and such alike.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. That is a lot of late game potential there, though. We do have Clanks and Dark Lady and some of the other ones, but with the picks that we're seeing here, Parasite, Midas, Magnus, and Behemoth, it definitely looks like we're gonna have some interesting team fights coming up. So I know that it's been a core thing that people have been focusing on these initiating heroes firsthand. Um, do you think that's really important to get those out of the way first and save the carries and supports for later?
Well, it is indeed important to get the initiations before the supports or the carries, because when you get a carry, your laning phase is a bit obvious, and the way that you are playing it, most likely it's going to be around that carry. For example, if you pick that Dark Lady or Clanks, we don't see these two heroes solo short lane. They have to, or they should get a support in order to secure the farm on these two heroes, and that's what I mean. Your laning phase is getting a bit obvious, so that's why these two teams are not showing their hard carry. Even that Doctor Repulsor here on the Legion team, that Doctor is flexible. He could be mid, which we don't see too often on this
Hey,
meta, but
yeah, he could also be jungle. We've seen Zlapped play him in the jungle before, but yeah, I know it's unlikely, but he is a versatile hero. I'll give you that much. And they already have the Parasite, so obviously not gonna be the jungle one we're looking at
yeah,
here. But ooh,
exactly.
that Mage Bane pick. So that is still one of the late game heroes that was still on the table there, and he's definitely made a comeback lately. Whether it was just the buff to mana combustion or just in general that the fact that he becomes really powerful later on.
Well, Mage Bane is one of the strongest hero in the late game. That's in general, and but in this game, it makes him even stronger to counter that Doctor Repulsor.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely going to be eating away at that mana pool quickly as long as they can lock him down. Um, that's definitely a really good counter pick coming out by Sync. So the second banning phase coming up here, and I don't know.
Uh,
Sync still doesn't have a jungler, so maybe we see a couple of bans on more of the popular heroes, Tempest, Legionnaire. I know Ophelia's not really picked very often anymore.
well, I would love to mention one thing. They have Parasite, Magnus, Doctor Repulsor. These three heroes are doesn't need much farm in order to rotate, in order to have an impact onto the game. But when it comes to Behemoth, he really needs that PK, and of course, the Merrick's Bounty is not allowed to get on competitive scene. So it is a bit tough to get PK into Behemoth. So when it comes to early rotations, so far I think BMG have the upper hand. But when it comes to team fight, when they have the core items, yeah, the Hellborn, Midas, and Behemoth are going to show a promise over here.
Absolutely. You do not want to have to push into Midas Behemoth, especially once they do get those core items, let alone luxury. And I know lately it's been Behemoth always in the suicide lane. He gets dumped down there. So you're absolutely right. We're probably not going to see any early farm on him unless he gets some lucky good rotations and some kills. But they do ban out Deadlift, and that's Hero's got that insane early game. Zlap takes out Prisoner. Fusen bans Cthulhu, which is another potential jungler. Zlap takes out Arachna. Fusen's going to ban Galatius. And the one more ban coming out here. So that's pretty versatile, Bafusin. Um, those bans are kind of all over the place.
Well, it is completely understandable why he banned the deadlift over there, because I gotta say, having Midas with deadlift is insanely combo. There is no way that you could avoid the combo of Midas when you get death gripped by that deadlift. So this is deadly, absolutely.
It's true. And Deadlift in general, early game, combo him with a lot of heroes. He becomes really an unstoppable force. Um, Definitely one of the reasons he's been a more popular pickup and definitely ban worthy at that point, I guess. So the last one Zlapped's going to ban is Pyromancer. So a couple of heroes here, support heroes with damage potential, have been removed. There's still plenty of good supports on the table, and I have to see where they go from here. But yeah, I mean, definitely right now, I'd like to see BMG pick up something that can transition into a later game, matchup, because with Behemoth and Midas, those are two heroes that it's really incredibly hard to push against. Uh, I mean, am I right in that assumption that the BMG should secure something for later game, maybe a harder carry on top of Dr. Repulsor?
Well, what BMG needs over here, first of all, they need to secure the team fight capability. Because if they go into the late game, that Dr. Repulsor will have a tough time competing against that Mage Beam.
Okay.
So they need to secure the team fights, and that being said, they need the Andromeda to counter, or something like Moira, for example. Andromeda is perfect here, so far Moira's over Rhapsody, but I love the Andromeda over here. They just need to make sure that they counter the initiation of the Sync esport because they have just solid initiation over here. Midas and Behemoth could just break you apart. Like this is deadly initiation.
Okay.
So I really love the Andromeda over there. It is perfect choice. Oh man, I just love it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those teams that you got to be very careful of, and I think you nailed it. Being able to counter initiate, kind of let the pressure be on Sync, though Sync is really good, I'd say, at making the decision on when to initiate, and it's definitely going to take some fortitude on BMG's side. And they grab the Swift Blade, so I mean, you nailed it. They don't want to let this go to 70 minutes versus a Mage Bane, no way, no how. And I'd say for taking it mid game, they got a pretty strong draft here. Little melee heavy, but
Well, on the Legion team now they have indeed a very good late game. That Swiftblade could contest with that Mage Ben, even though he's a suicide, but he's doing a lot of physical damage. And the Hellborn team over there, they are not a team that could build something like Soul's Bulwark or Abyssal, for example. Well, there you go. That's a
whoa,
hero could build. Yeah.
that is not a hero that we see very often at all. But I will say that for the team that he's on, Solstice, I think that's a pretty good pickup. It's even more initiation, it's even more tankiness, and that AoE ultimate to just follow up the powerful initiators. I think that was a good pick to round off the team here.
Well, I think that is a perfect pick over there.
All right.
Solstice second spell could just break the Magnus initiation. Like that's all what he need to do on the team fight. His second spell is going to be perfect to counter the Magnus over there, because that's all what he need all what he need to do with that spell, pretty much.
Right. So essentially picking for that illuminate spell to stop the portal key initiation of Magnus, basically, because yeah, I mean that is BMG's really only initiation tool. So
Well, most of their damage when it comes to early team fights is going to be from the Magnus. When he gets the BK, the eruption is going to allow the team to make kills. But if they could see Magnus coming, they could just avoid it, or they could just counter initiation. For
yeah,
example, using that fissure to break down the Magnus eruption.
that's true.
That
Yeah, if they
that
have.
I love to say.
Now, I'm not going to say that they'll have vision of Magnus every time by any means, because BMG obviously they know about the Solstice pick, but yeah, it's definitely going to make things a little bit harder for them. But generally, in terms of Solstice 2, he's also a hero that can deal quite a bit of damage later in the game. So, it's not just on Magebane anymore. It's Solstice is something, if he gets farm, and Zlapped always finds farm, he's going to be putting a lot of damage too, just physical damage. But
Well, I gotta say, this hero, if he is not the best farmer, but he's not the worst farmer as well. He's just good. But if he could secure that BK, if he could get something out of the BK from these
look
team
at
fights,
this 4-man train here. I mean, interrupt you, but Parasite's going to get spotted out here right off the bat. And he's taking a lot of damage, but his team is nearby. The Fisher's going to block him off. Catch 2 here. He's really low. Stun coming out onto Solstice. A Luna Power, though, connects on the 2, but Solstice is going to get the kill onto Parasite, and that was a bad position to be in. And now they're going to lose Swiftblade as well. So we got 2 kills to start off. We may even see 3 here. Yeah, Andromeda is for sure going to fall down here, and this was not a good decision. BMG walking up the hill. Oh, my goodness.
Well, that Fisher.
That was a pretty massive Fisher. I guess you're right. It took it from just a 1-kill pick onto Parasite to completely shifting that. And now, I mean, we're looking at a huge gold advantage here. The kills went out pretty much 1 to each player over here. And 28,000 GPM just to start. Well, that's the start of the game here. And I hope that is a kind of an inkling as to what's to come for the rest of the matchup here.
Well, I gotta say, that is huge for Sync Esport now that Solstice have early Marcher and he will just be able to rotate even easier.
Yep. And now he did have to get Blinding Rush, so he's going to jungle a little bit slower without Solar Slash, I think. But yeah, I mean, the boots will probably make up for that as well as the gold just in general that he has. So Swiftblade, I don't think he's going to have an easy time up here. Luna's box him out pretty hard. Magnus in mid lane against the Behemoth, so we will see early farm on the Behemoth, which I'm definitely excited about here.
The top lane?
Yeah, Luna, she's getting spun on here, though, so it might be some kind of turn, but here comes Solstice to join the party with those boots rotating in quick. Nobody here is fallen just yet, and they're trying to put in the auto attacks. Make will fall down here, and now Parasite's in a bad position. He's getting good body blocks by Magebane. Will he die to the neutrals? He does. Well played by the greatest of all time over here. So, wow, definitely, exciting matchup already thus far. Take a look at the bottom lane, too. We got Midas versus Dr. Repulsor. And so far, I can't tell if it's still skewed because of the Bloodlust kill. But, yeah, Midas looks like he's definitely having a good time down here.
Well, when it comes to Midas and Dr. Repulsor, indeed Midas is going to have a great time over here. Like, Midas just got insane damage and he's a strength hero. There is no way that Doctor will be able to kill that Midas by himself. And on top of that, Parasite is having a suffer time, so he's not going to rotate to that Midas soon.
Okay. Yeah, so, well, Parasite's just not getting ideal creeps down there, so... Yeah, Fuzen trying to put a counter ward down here, but there's no really ward up sight in top here. So Swiftblade's definitely going to be struggling early on. Oh.
Like, I gotta say one thing. This is the worst case scenario could happen for BMG. They gave 3 kills before the game start, and they lost the trialing, and now they are giving up the trialing.
Yeah, and with the team that they picked, I mean, they definitely wanted to succeed earlier. That was generally the plan, to have strong laning phase. So I definitely agree with you there. The only thing is Magnus is probably going to do decent here in mid lane, or at least he should. I know I don't like to go against Volcanic Eruption as another melee hero, but Behemoth is going to get that early bottle and take the double damage rune top. What do you think that BMG can do at this point to recover? Is it going to be for Parasite to make the difference?
Well, Parasite at this point, he will not be able to rotate well into that Midas, and that the only way that it could come back is that Swiftblade.
Swiftblade pulling off some tricks
on the laning phase. Like, he's still doing a lot of damage with his spin, even though he doesn't have Marcher. So I believe he should give up on the top lane soon and make sure that he will be able to secure mid or on the bottom lane, because this Behemoth, he doesn't have any escape capability. He could be easily locked down.
Oof. Look at that heavyweight. Oh man, if he sips one more bottle, that could have been a dead Magnus. Double damage heavyweight hitting for like 200 damage per auto attack right now at this point in the game. But yeah, I mean, Behemoth definitely looking like the best target because Magebane has a blink, and yeah, there's an escape method on Midas as well, so that's what we'll have to see here. They are getting rune control too. You can see Sync's camping every single rune. That's gonna just make it that much harder for Swiftblade to really set something up, and we're gonna see rotations coming out here top, maybe. Nope, Behemoth falls back. At least Swiftblade's got the lane pushed in his favor, so he's going to get some experience and a little bit of farm here. Maybe get himself a set of marchers.
Well, that Swiftblade, as soon as he gets that Marcher and level 6 at maximum, he really need to leave the lane because they are losing bottom at the moment. Like that, sorry, they are like that. Midas is just getting a lot, and even though he is dealing with Andromeda and Parasite on the bottom, but because they give a lot of levels to him on the early laning phase.
It's true, because, yeah, they were going to leave it as a one-on-one matchup. The good thing is Balthazar's out farming him, and then Balthazar now hits 6. Maybe he picks up a TP, and he can make something happen. I know it is a little bit early, but Sync is definitely sitting in a comfortable position right now. And but I'm not going to count BMG out just yet. It all will come down to the team fights, but it is looking pretty deadly. Behemoth got his Striders now, and I imagine he'll rush a portal key.
Well, I would really love to see Doctor trying to rotate on this game. Like, it is so easy to rotate into that Behemoth. And so for Swiftblade, well, Swiftblade is just chilling on mid over there.
Okay, yeah, Swiftblade's here. He's not level 6 yet, but with a Magma stun, oh, wow, and there comes the Solstice Illuminate. He somehow knew what was up, and that's just some serious game sense by Zlapped. So there's going to be no gank here by Swiftblade. Oh, they look for Solstice, actually. He's pretty low, and Parasite's in the area. Parasite only level 4, though. We haven't seen a rotation from him. How can he be only level 4? I don't know.
Well, he was on the enemy jungle and he didn't get anything out of it. That's why he just...
Oh, really? Okay, initiation mid here. Behemoth's going to take a stun there, but he gets the Fisher on a Magnus. Here comes the charging strikes. Magnus is going to fall down here. That blinding rush finishing the job. Up top, Swiftblade. Yeah. He's going to use his Blade Frenzy here just to pick up a little bit of farm. Mage been getting really low. I want to say if Swiftblade hit 6, that could have definitely been a surprise attack kill on him.
Well, as you see, now BMG is trying to force the gameplay. They are trying to force the ganks. And Sync Esport is just figuring that out. And now, BMG, all what they could do is making sure that they will have farm onto that Dr. Repulsor, and Dr. Repulsor is going to make the plays, hopefully. And so for Swiftblade, now Swiftblade has his slashes, he got his ultimate, and pretty much he's going back to the base, and after that, I really hope that he's going to just secure the other lanes.
Yeah, definitely. I think they have to. I think at this point, they have to kind of force some team fights and get some ganks, because, I mean, if it can, and maybe not in a certain rush, I mean, but they definitely need to start applying pressure now. They need to make something happen.
I gotta say one thing. They cannot team fight at this point because that Solstice has level 6, Parasite doesn't have level 6. Oh man, this looks so bad for BMG. So what they could do is just trying to rotate, pick some kills, because if you just pick a team fight randomly like this, it will just go so bad.
Yeah. That's one thing you did point out, that it's obvious that Sync knows what they're trying to do here. So, I mean, in the meantime, it's just Magnus here. I think he has to have an item being delivered right now, right? Maybe? Steam Boots, Portal Key. I mean, I'd be hoping that Magnus gets a PK soon to just get a nice ult off. But here comes an initiation down bottom. Ooh, Dr. Pulsar's going to juke the Solstice ultimate with his own ultimate and actually going to get away here. So, 3-man rotation from... 4-man, make that a Behemoth Fisher catching Parasite out, and they're going to get the kill after all. That's some serious communication. Behemoth just flying down there with the Striders just in time to pick off the Parasite.
Well, Magnus used his Eruption on mid on uphill, but Behemoth just saw it coming. I'm not really sure how.
Oh, wow. I missed it. Did he at least clean up a creep wave with it?
No, he got nothing out of it.
Oh, man. Yeah, and Behemoth in a 1v1 matchup, I always thought he was pretty decent, because even if you're losing, you still have spells to get some little bit of farm with. But with the new buff to heavyweight, or not so new, but I mean versus a melee, he has really serious harass potential now. I mean, you can either use it for last hitting, or you can see that he's beating Magnus, which is
the top lane.
Not easy to do. Okay. Oh yeah, Parasite rotating in here with a Skeleton King, though. They're gonna have to time their spells perfectly to really get Mage Train down here. Oh, the creeps are going to spot out the Parasite as well. We have rotations coming in mid. Solstice ultimate up in 20 seconds, but he does have that blinding rush. Magnus is not an easy target, though, so I'm not sure what they're doing here.
Well, they know that the only lane they could gank, I mean, for BMG, the only lane they could gank is mid.
The
That
Behemoth.
Behemoth, yeah. And Sync Esports is just chilling around mid, making sure that they will not be able to do anything into that Behemoth.
Oh, there's Parasite's going to eat a power throw here and take him down to half HP. And if he doesn't get in the right creep here, this is definitely going to be bad news for him. He's going to take a couple of auto attacks here. One more second for the blinding rush. Again, he tries to die to the little antlings here, but doesn't happen. Serenius gets credit for the kill. Midas, though, at the bottom is taking some serious damage from Dr. Repulsor. Will he commit to the kill? Does not. I think he could have had that. Then again, 15 charges on Midas power supply.
Yeah, if he went there, it would just not go well to do it to that charges.
Oh, here he goes. He is going to come on the initiation here, but he gets locked by the Elemental Warp, proccing that Transmute ultimate. But at the same time, Make, yeah, finds a counter kill, and they're looking for more. Swiftblade still has those swift slashes up. Can he get in range of Aluna? Their move speed, ooh. He had the Ghost Marchers, but they came off just too late, so they don't get the counter kill onto Aluna. But, I mean, hey, that's a start for BMG, right? They get one kill, and there we go.
Well, that's 1 for 7. But yeah. Like
all right, Dr. Repulsor, though. A little greedy, overstaying his welcome here. And now Andromeda's in trouble. Midas will not pursue. They get the deny on the tower. That's all they really need.
Well, they just have a conclusion over there. Like, the Sync Esports has 4,000 gold per minute at the end of the laning phase. Like now, there it almost ends when it comes to the laning phase. There is a lot of rotations. Behemoth is just moving from mid. He's trying to rotate. He got his PK.
Yeah, the rotations are definitely on point here. And with the PK now, it's only going to be even harder. Because now instead of Sync being passive while BMG's hunting, BMG has to be worried about initiations. They got the... Here comes a shockwave coming on to Dr. Repulsor. Aluna with the follow-up stun to make sure that he stays locked down. But here comes Magnus. Only going to get one stun onto Aluna. Can he get the eruption off? He gets it off just in time, so they get the counter kill. But the main target, Behemoth, gets away. And I think even if he connected, that his ult might have gotten interrupted by a Enrage. No.
Well, Sync Esports is pretty much happy about that trade. Like, it's a support for a carry.
Uh-oh, Midas here is going to get this haste rune. Wait, no, Swiftbait actually stole it. Now he can't spin or he's going to lose the... All right, there he goes. He's going to use his ultimate, though. Perfect timing there. Parasite jumping into creep. Behemoth almost fishing himself out. Uh-oh. Solstice channeling that ultimate. They're perfectly lined up. They're going to eat both of it. And here comes the blinding rush. The rotations here from Sync. They're always in the right place at the right time. Swiftblade's running for his life. Andromeda's not level 6 yet. So no chance of her even saving her teammate here. The body blocks are coming out. But Dr. Repulsor is going to try to do what he can if they get this kill on a Mage Bane. Oh, and he's going to get away. Now, this is not good for BMG here. This is definitely a missed opportunity. But Dr. Repulsor is going to go after Solstice, but he exhausts all of his mana here. He could be in a dangerous place with that mana rift. Did not go off. Yeah.
He missed the last attack into that Solstice.
And the Mage Bane just barely getting away. That sucks.
This looks so frustrated for BMG.
It is, because it could be a lot closer. Sometimes things just don't go your way here, and there we go.
Well, BMG have trouble stacks at the Ancients, so they might secure the Magnus BK over there, because this is the only way pretty much they could come back into this game.
The Magnus portal key. Yeah, and he didn't even rush it. I mean, he went to Steam Boots, but
he got it.
He finally does have it. You're right. So, I mean, that could make a little bit of a difference here. Nobody on the Hellborn team picking up any kind of magic immunity yet, which probably, I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe they're just not concerned with damage, but there's a ton of magic damage, and I imagine investments are going to come out shortly on some of these heroes. But in the meantime, yeah, Magnus can definitely make a play here. Level 11 also with the Veiled Rot active. He's ready right now.
Well, he just passed into that region and pretty much he didn't see it. on the top line. I mean, on the
Yep.
top line.
Andromeda has spotted it out here. Let's see if he maybe goes back to fill his bottle. You're right. It's pretty bad luck. But even Sync now rotating over into the Legion side jungle. Just the map control here, it's getting out of hand. Serenia's going to put a ward up on the Mesa, and they're kind of fearless at this point. Solstice going to get initiated on here by Dr. Repulsor, but once again he uses almost full mana. A double stun coming out from Magnus is going to do the trick. He's channeling the eruption, but it gets interrupted by Behemoth. Yeah, Magnus, there goes the shockwave. Swiftblade dropping out those swift slashes to put a decent amount of damage into Behemoth. This is probably going to be a counter kill onto Behe. And they end up trading 2 for 1 here. So far so good for BMG, but Andromeda quickly falls off to make it a fair trade. But about the first somewhat even exchange for BMG, they got top tower also, and they took about 1,500 gold off of that deficit.
Well, BMG just they were happy about these trades. Andromeda and Magnus for Behe and Solstice. So at this point, this is the best out of what they could get from this team fight, because they couldn't get the Magnus eruption over there. So that's just the best case scenario for them.
Yeah, that definitely was unfortunate. They got interrupted though. I want to say that could have been a much better fight in general. There goes another tower, 1 to each team here. Parasite is at least doing work in terms of pushing the lanes now to get his team of that little bit of gold to help him catch up. What items do you want to see on Swiftblade and Doctor here coming up next?
Well, they don't have much of a choices, but I would love to see something like Firebrand into that Swiftblade. He just need that movement capability on top of his Energizer, but he could skip that as well since he got that Energizer. Well, on the other hand, I would love to see Icon on Doctor, because that Icon is just gonna bring so much into the team fights.
All right.
That's pretty much when it comes to mid game.
Okay. Yeah, I think Doctor's going for the Icon. I have to agree. I think that's going to be a good choice here. Keep an eye on top here, as there might be some action. He's got Boxy's ward here, or his own ward, and he's kind of just scouting things out. Magnus in a good position to maybe make something happen here. He's got a TP delivered to him, so if he tries to get like a solo kill, he's going to try to TP out of there. But there's a lot of Hellborn in the area. And I think now he realizes that it's not a good idea. Solstice, all it takes is that Illuminate, and yeah, he is going to get away. Man, Sync, they just know sometimes. Like, they knew somebody was in their jungle. They didn't even have any vision. That's crazy to me.
Well,
oh, Dr. Repulsor going to get the PK Solstice initiation, but Andro hitting 6, going to sacrifice herself to make the best of it. Now there comes the counter initiation, but Behemoth with the perfectly timed Shockwave. Magnus stuns in. Okay, Parasite joins the party. He's channeling the eruption, but Magnus is going to get interrupted by Midas. And this is now the 3rd time in a row that Magnus' ultimate has been interrupted when it could have made a huge difference. And that's a 2 for nothing, 3 for nothing exchange in favor of Sync.
BMG couldn't see Sync Esport coming, so they didn't expect that. They expect them to be on the Hellborn jungle chasing that Magnus, but Sync Esport just reacted too fast to chase that Magnus into the Ancients over there. And they are going to get tower as well, overcommitting from that team fight. So
bottom lane though, Swiftblade, yeah, he's going to get initiated on here. He's blocked in by a perfectly placed Fisher, and he's just taking in the auto attacks. They are out of mana, and they decide not to chase. Oh, more action here in mid lane. Dr. Repulsor's trying to put in the last hits to finish off Magebane, but that Mana Rift, it's just the direct counter to him. And in any kind of matchup where Magebane is solo up against the Doctor, you got to imagine that's going to happen. It's just counter picking extremely well here.
Well, indeed, that Mana Rift, the ultimate of the Magebane, is just a pure counter to those heroes like Dr. Repulsor. It's just like, I gotta say, Dr. Repulsor, he just needs a lot to play around that Magebane. Like, he needs a Null Stone or even something like a Shrunken at this point to just avoid that Mana Rift, because that Mana Rift is just too strong. Right.
The Shrunken definitely would help here. But at the same time, I mean, he did pick that fight without any real support in, and he's already building the icon. I don't think he can kind of change. Oh, man. Here comes another initiation. Parasite walking uphill with no vision and right past Serenia's ward. it kind of just, he was kind of asking for that, I gotta say. BMG is definitely on tilt here, off their game, and kind of just hanging on for dear life.
Perfect positioning from Magnus over there. He's erupting.
Oh, here comes, you're right, the eruption onto Magnus with a follow-up stun, but the heal's coming out from Midas. Magebane's gonna get away with half HP. Solstice dropping out the stun delay, but Swiftblade gets the Swift Slashes, but he connects under the creeps. A very unfortunate RNG strike there. They will get the counter kill, though. Solstice falls here, and a good change of pace here for BMG. I mean, they're not giving up yet. They're up against one of those teams that is really consistent. So we'll have to see where they can go from here. It's definitely going to be a struggle, but I'm glad they're still giving it the shot.
Well, as you see, BMG is trying to be as much aggressive as they could, even though they are a bit far ahead when it comes to gold and experience, but they are still on this game. They didn't lose yet by any chance, no. They still have a chance until that Magebane get the core items. When that Magebane gets a core items, it's going to be just tough to kill him.
Yeah, right now he is at 512 GPM, and with that Rune Cleaver, I mean, the core items are only really 15 minutes away. And,
yeah, indeed.
I mean, just look at the luxury items on some of the Stink Heroes. PK Post Haste on both Behemoth and on Midas. So, I mean, they could be all over the map and still be ready to defend any kind of push, and I think that's where it's going to start getting ugly.
Well, when it comes to, yeah, both heroes that could have post hits with BK, it's going to indeed put an impact into the game, and they are just going to create so much space for that Magebane to get these core items. And BMG, now they have the icon into that doctor, but well, I just really hope the best for BMG over there.
Yeah, a couple of kills to get some charges on there would do wonders for the item. We know with 0 charges, it's still a good item, but it's not, it's not the best bang for your buck. So I mean, let's see. I mean, Dr. Pulsar's posting up mid. He's kind of waiting for the right person to kind of step out, and he might find that with a Luna here, but Magebane nearby.
Well, you see that Sync Esport is just throttling hard around that Magebane, making sure that he will never get picked off from BMG, and that's what all they need to do into this game. They just need to secure that farm to that Magebane, and as soon as he get something
that
like
Illuminate.
First Wolf.
And Solstice is going to throw out the charge here onto Swiftblade. He's going to be diving well into tower range here, so yeah, he does turn around. Oh man, those Illuminates are on point. I haven't been watching if he just throws them out randomly, but every time I've seen him, it's been like a perfect revelation of the enemy team. Let's see, they're not going to try to save this tower at all. Magnus isn't a chance he can... Nope, he's going to get Illuminate spotted. Now, that was kind of predictable. That was a good one.
Well, I really love the Geobane choice here by Magebane. I know that's a core item, but in this game, it's going to put an impact into this game. For example, that Swiftblade slashes,
right,
like that Geobane could just break it apart, and he could avoid the Parasite ultimate, so for the Andromeda stun. So there is just a lot of things to avoid with that Geobane over there.
That's true. It's a very smart pickup in this game, and Dr. Pulsar with an invisibility rune. Let's see here. Here comes a Behemoth Shockwave, instantly melting through 3 heroes are now going to fall for BMG. Swiftblade's going to try to join the party. The Swift Slashes does manage to pick off Behemoth, but here we go. The Geometer's Bane coming up. If they get any hits off on a Swiftblade, oh, he does finally get this Blade Frenzy off in time, and he might be able to live here. But then again, Midas has a PK. Doesn't connect with the Elemental Warp. Luna's going to join the party. No, there's not much Swiftblade can do here. That was just a massive initiation by Behemoth there, and BMG just grouped up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, that Shockwave was into a 3-man, man.
Yeah.
So amazing.
In the jungle, I mean, and the follow-up was perfect. Sync was ready to take that fight immediately. They only lose the Behemoth. He doesn't care. 4-2 and 13 at this point. I know he was solo mid, but still, I mean, almost everyone on their team is almost over 300 GPM. And you can't complain when your support's having that good of a time. This is a best of 2, so we got another match coming up here, and I don't know. You might have more faith in BMG than me, but I mean, at this point, it's looking pretty grim.
Well, it's like Mage Bane. There is an item coming for him, which is alright, it's Ice Brand. So we might see a first wolf over there onto that Mage Bane, and pretty much when he get that first wolf, BMG have to drop every single thing into that Mage Bane in order to kill him.
Or he's just gonna wreck them. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, they got the Solstice too. He's putting out a lot of damage, and now Behemoth is almost level 16. That's so much magic damage too. And they got an Astrolabe on. Yeah, here comes the token. Sync definitely realizes they have a considerable lead right now, and they're not afraid to push right now. So maybe they don't even wait for the Frostwolf.
Well, do you remember on the start of the game when we were speaking of Solstice farm? Well, as you see on this game, he just doesn't have much, because when you have a hero like Mage Bane or Dark Lady, for example, they just need a lot of farm, and pretty much you just gonna give your own jungle for them, and you just try to create a space for them. That's why you don't have much farm as Solstice at this point. It's not like his lab doesn't know how to farm. No, it's not like that. It's just the team strat is just designing to be like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. He has the core items he needs. The only other thing maybe they can grab is a Bulwark on him, but yeah, I mean, I like the way that they have the gold distributed on their team. I think it's perfect. Here they go. They're setting up. Behemoth not 16 yet, but nevertheless, they're ready to kind of get a pick off here and try to end things.
Well, on the top lane, Blades is trying to create as much space as he could for his own team, trying to just waste time to get that token run out, but it's just not gonna happen pretty much.
A little swag ward placed there by Luna, using that illusion spell. Oh, here comes the Magnus initiation onto Midas. Yeah, Dr. Pulsar to follow up, but look at Midas, how tanky he is. Even, it's just the pure levels. He doesn't really have any tanky items. Just a real lack of damage coming out here. It feels like if they don't have Swiftblade around with his ultimate, that they're going to have a hard time killing anybody.
Well, when it comes to the Legion team, they built their strat about initiating and counter-initiating as well. That's why there wasn't much of follow-up to that Dr. Pulsar.
Yep. Well, let's see. Sync's here, still keeping up the pressure. Going to rotate into the Legion side jungle and just clean it up. But look at top lane. Behemoth invisible on top of Swiftblade with Midas coming in. Here comes the shockwave with the follow-up. Fisher, Behemoth is going to put in the heavyweight attack, and Masera gets credit for the kill. You think you feel safe when the rest of the team is in your jungle, but there's still two lingering over there to kill you. But initiation here. Parasite now going to take some auto attacks from Solstice. Gets into his puzzle box minions, but they're going to drop quickly to Mage Bane. And he's just going to get picked off here on top of Dr. Repulsor. Magnus Eruption comes in late, connects onto a Luna, but still not even enough damage. He's only level 14. A Swiftblade runs into the fight. He bought back here. I think he only had a couple seconds to go, so that was definitely an interesting buyback. But
well, I think it's game over at this point. Like, hey,
yeah,
right,
Legion's going to call the concede vote. What a performance from Sync Esports, from the hat trick at the 0-minute mark to just dominating every lane, and they just really played this draft to perfection. What do you think?
Well, when it comes to the top lane, the bottom lane, like the top lane, yeah, it got dominated by Sync Esports, but at the bottom lane, not much of domination. So for mid, like that Magnus just had his BK. After that, Behemoth after him for like 1 minute, but that was like okay. It's not the big deal, but pretty much BMG lost this game due to that 3 kills that they gave Sync Esport at the jungle. These 3 kills that made them lose the tri lane, to be honest.
Absolutely, but I mean, we do have another matchup here, and BMG wants to get every win they can. They're to stay, as a top seed going into the playoffs in the winners bracket. So I definitely think they're going to give it their all here on the next game. Once again, we're going to go to a short break here, but the next match should be coming up here in just a couple minutes. They've been, actually, the game's already up now, so we're going to take like a quick 1 or 2 minute break, and then we'll be right back with some more Honcast action for you guys. Stay tuned.